Hi everyone and welcome back. Welcome to my another brand new playlist, but it is also a part of Redux TypeScript. I'm in React TypeScript and Tailwind. We are talking already in an existing playlist. What I want to do in this playlist specifically is I want to talk about React Redux, the recent changes, RTK query, Redux Toolkit. I mean everything, the new enhancement which has happened in the Redux world recently. So we will talk about Redux Toolkit. So this is going to be not a big playlist. It's going to be around 10 videos, and what we are going to do is first we will talk about what is the current, how we are writing current React Redux, and if you wanted to use Redux Toolkit, then how you should use it, and if you wanted to use RTK query, then how you can use it. And we will also add the flavor of the TypeScript in this in the examples which we are going to talk about. So all these videos will also go in the playlist of the React TypeScript Tailwind, and the Master React course. Okay. But if you want to separately want to look into React Redux and React Redux advanced concept, then you can actually look into this playlist. I'm not going to teach how Redux works because that I have already covered in the detailed sessions in the master course of React. Okay, that also I will add a link in the description of this video. My target here in this video is talk about Redux Toolkit. In just introductory video, I will talk about simple how Redux works. Right? We already know, because if you are writing React Redux application, then you are already aware that how Redux works and how React Redux works together. Here we will just see what is the need of Redux Toolkit, how we can use it, what is the RTK query. I mean, there are a couple of enhancements has been done because not everybody liked the implementation of Redux. It's like too much code sometimes we are writing, too much actions. There should be a way to handle the async behavior, either using Thunk or Saga, and couple of middlewares introduced. So I think now in the Redux Toolkit everything is combined. You don't need to look for the additional library. The immutability has been taken care by Redux Toolkit. Earlier, whenever you are writing a reducer, you always need to write a code in such a way that you do not mutate the state. You should always create a new state, always create a clone of the object, and then change the properties and return the state. Okay, all those things we have to take care. So there were recently a lot of enhancements, and now we can actually take the advantage by creating the slice where you can combine everything, the initial state, the actions, and the reducers. So those are a lot of good set of enhancement has been done that we will go through. First we will talk about the vanilla React Redux, how we were writing. Then we will understand on top of that example that how we can use Redux Toolkit there to improve that example. Okay, let's get started. So in this playlist, it's all about React Redux. If you have any questions, just add a comment. Okay, if you particularly want to learn how React Redux works, then this is not the video. I will attach the playlist link and you can check out the React Redux there. Okay, so let's get started. So this example is kind of a partially done because I don't want to write the React Redux code. Here we are importing React DOM, React Redux, React Redux, Redux, and Redux Thunk. This is the middleware, and Redux is a library, and React Redux is a bridge between Redux and the React components. And I just wanted to write a simple app. What the app should does is it should be able to fetch the list of posts, right, and the list of comments from some API. Okay, how it is going to look like? We are going to add a router. So this is our app component. If we go to app component, here we do have navbar and hello. Instead of this, we are going to display three different pages in the whole application. One is the dashboard page, one is the post, and so it's like what I'm going to do in summary is I do have a mock API which gives me list of posts, and there is an API endpoint which gives me post by ID. I mean, you pass the ID and I will give you the detail about the post. So I wanted to just use these both the API endpoints, and I wanted to create a single page app using React Router DOM, and also wanted to use Redux with this. So I already have a setup of the routing. I just need to add the routes here, and I think I already have the components created. And the path for this, like let's say this is the dashboard, this is the landing page for our application. I will just declare the component, and here I will also import the dashboard component. Similarly, okay, I will import them one by one. This is first route, this is second, and this is third. Second route will be the posts, and it will be post page. This is a dashboard page. And another page will be a single post page, right, where we are actually saying, okay, when you click on to this, I will pass the ID as a route parameter, and here user can see the detail of a single post. So this is the post page. We can say just a basic simple routing, and now we need to import all these component. So we can simply say import our dashboard page from the kind of components are already there. This is the dashboard. So inside the pages, I think I do have a dashboard page. Okay, then I'll just copy this 3 times. We have post page, single post page. These kind of things also you might have already done many times. Components post, and this is single post page. So this also we are getting from component, and this we are going to get from single post page. Okay, routing looks fine. When you click onto the dashboard, you should be able to see the home page. Now, how the React Redux works: we need to create a store, we need to create reducers, we need to create actions. These are the 3 core building blocks of Redux, right? So we'll write actions. Actions will be okay, fetch post by ID, fetch comments. Reducers will be the post reducer, comments reducer, and we will create a store. Store can be created by passing the root reducer and the middleware. So that we are doing here. We are calling create store, we are passing root reducer, and we are passing the middleware thunk, because we need to make a sync API call to get the post by ID, to fetch the comments. So I'm using thunk, Redux thunk, as a middleware. So you can see this is the middleware I'm talking about. Whenever a request goes to the reducer which has the async call, because Redux is purely synchronous, it does not understand any asynchronous JavaScript behavior. So what we need to do, if there is an action which involves the API call or side effect, what we need to do, we need to resolve that promise. We need to resolve that async call before we send that call to the reducer. And that job is done by Redux Promise, Redux Thunk, Sagas, and all these middlewares we are using that is doing that. Okay, so middleware will make an API call, get the data, and resolve the promise, and then send the request to the reducer. So we will write 2 folders here, create a directory, we have actions, and we will write one more thing is reducers. Okay, so you can see we are also getting the root reducer from reducers folder. Okay, so we have reducers. Now we will write all the reducers which we need. Before that, let's create actions. Actions means some actions which the UI need. Let's say on the posts page, go to app.js, and inside the post page, we might be doing a fetch call for all the posts. So this is our component, post page. Okay, here is our dashboard page. So this is a single post page, and what we are doing in the post page, Let's see if we have imported correctly. It is pages, so it should be a post page, and this is also a pages, and it is a single post page. So post page, here we will be actually making an API call. We are using the simple map state to props, map dispatch to props, the legacy way of using the Redux, right? You can also use hooks like use dispatch and use selector hook. Those hooks are available. Through them we don't need to map, we don't need to make this component as a higher order component. For now that this is fine, we are using use effect hook. We are making fetch post call. So fetch post is we need to define inside actions. So first we will start with actions. So in actions we have to create all the actions. Let's say post actions. So inside actions create a new file, post actions.js. And once we write post actions, you will remember, okay, this is how we used to do the Redux. So export const get post. Now this is a async call. This can either be successful or either can fail, right? So I will create two versions of this: get post success, get post failure. Okay, and then we will dispatch these actions to the reducer. Okay, now if we talk about the main core method, that core method is export const fetch post, and it is taking ID. Okay, for this posts I need to fetch the ID. So here we are talking about all the posts, so let's make it plural. And here I'm talking about getting all the posts. Okay, so get posts, and here I will be calling fetch posts, and we don't need ID for that. I mean, we will need ID when we are fetching a single post. Okay, and here we are using Redux Thunk. We need to write a callback function. We need to write an inner function which is using dispatch, async dispatch. I mean, we can use simple arrow function. Return async dispatch, and this is async export function fetch posts. And now inside this we can actually dispatch all the different kind of actions. Dispatch first is get posts. So this method we need to define. This is like actions. Now there will be three actions: get post success, get post failure, right? So three actions we can define here. Get posts first action, then we will make an API call, and then if there is a success then call a success, if there is a failure then call a failure. Same way we are going to define all our actions. This is like a consistent. Okay, here if this is an error, dispatch get post failure. Okay, if this is successful, I mean, we will just write some code to make the API call, then we will just pass get post success, and we will also pass the data which we received from the API call. Here we will make our API call const response equal to await fetch. We can use fetch API. We don't need to include the any Axios library because fetch is available at the client side. So this is the JSON placeholder API. Just give me a sec, I will copy this one. Okay, and we just need to await for resolving the response. So here const data equal to await response.json, and we will get the data, and same data we are passing to our get post success. So same kind of logic we will be writing when we wanted to fetch a single post. Post action.js, and same thing like if you wanted to get all the comments, in the comments also I will create another file, comments action.js. We will change couple of things. Okay, posts will become comments, all those things, but these actions will go to the reducer. If we talk about posts actions, for this one we will write the reducer, and for in the same way we will populate the Redux state for the posts, single post, and for the comments. Okay, now we are done with the actions. We are using Redux Thunk here. We are dispatching, so these are like sequential dispatch of different actions. First we are initializing. Okay, here in this particular case we can initialize the loading state true, and then if it is success, loading false, set the data. If this is failure, loading false, set the error data. Okay, command shift V. I think there should be a way to format, or okay, when you save it, it automatically formats the code, so this is good. Now we need to write post action, I mean the single post, and then we will write the reducers. Post action is kind of similar. Here we are talking about a single post by ID, so just remove the S, and the actions will be that this is the type, right, which we are going to send to the reducer. So get post success, just remove the S, and then we are good. So fetch single post, and we need to pass the ID, and then get post. Here we can pass the ID and make this expression in dynamic. So here get post success, get post failure, and here this is fine. Okay, this is for a single post. Now let's come back to the reducer. In the reducer we used to create a root reducer, and then we used to combine all the reducers together, right? So first we will create post reducer.js. Then we have another reducer is posts s, and let's create index.js where we will combine both the reducer. And there is one more, comments reducer.js. Okay, the story is simple. From the index we have to export the root reducer. So if you remember, we used to import the combined reducer from Redux. So here we can import combine reducer, and then we can import the reducer definition. Let's say I'm creating post reducer from posts reducer, and then here I can say I'm exporting root reducer by combining all the reducers together, and here I will expose the JSON object tree. This is posts will map to the posts reducer. Okay, and then I can just do export default root reducer, and then we can import this, we can create a store. Similarly, I can import the other things like, okay, I need to import the post reducer, then there is a comments reducer, this is coming from comments, So here this is a post, this is a single post, and then there is a comments. So this will be mapped with a comments reducer, this will be mapped with a single post reducer. Okay, and we are good. Okay, this is we need in the caps. I mean, we could have imported in the camel case. Now we are exporting this. Now the rest of the thing is we already have the store. We are creating the store from the root reducer. So we need to write the reducer definitions now, like the posts reducer. So there will be initial state, and then based on whatever the actions we are getting, there will be next state. Import everything as actions from, we need to get a couple of things from actions. So I'm talking about the post actions right now, and here my initial state is, initial state for posts is loading is false. Now you can put whatever you want inside a Redux state. Has errors, false, and the posts I'm initializing as an empty object. For posts it should be an array. I guess we are doing some mistake. Okay, so we are inside a posts reducer, and then we can create export default function posts reducer. This function will take two things. State is initialized with initial state, and then action we are passing, and based on that we will take action like what should be the new state. So every time we create a switch block, and based on action.type we take our action. So if case is actions, this is actions. Okay, you need to import this. If case is actions dot get posts, what should be the new state? Here we need to take care about the immutability. So what we do is we spread the current state, and then we said okay, loading is true in this particular case because the fetch has started. Then we have case is actions dot get post success. Get post success, in that particular case we will return the state, and here the posts will become action.payload, loading will become false, has error will become null, has, okay, it's a boolean. I mean, we can have a null or object or a boolean. Why it is becoming a staircase? Now we can also add a failure or the default case. I think we need to add a default case, that's why it is showing all these warning. First add the default case. In that particular case, return the state we have. Okay, then we have another case we have is actions dot get post failure. In this case we will just whatever is the state, loading is obviously false, has errors becomes true. We can also populate the error object if you want, but this is a kind of Redux state we have, reducers we have written, right? Same way we have to do it for a single post. Post reducer, here I need to get the actions from the post. Initial state is the single post object, post reducer, and here the state will be a little different. Actions dot get post It should be get post failure. Let's go to post actions. Get post failure. Why the failure is not coming? Let's say. Okay, so this is how it is. It's about a single post. So we'll just populate only single post object. Okay, this is about post reducer. This is about all the posts we have in the system. Everything is indented now. Everything looks good. Similarly, we can add the comments reducer. In the comments reducer, we are talking about the comments. I think we also have added the comment section. Okay, we need to change a little bit inside the comment sections. So here inside the comment section, it will be inside, instead of get posts. Okay, it will be comments. We can just try replacing things if it works. Okay, why it is not able to find it? Yes, we can replace all these things. So get comment success failure, and also we need to replace this with comments. I mean, it's quick, that's why I'm doing it. And then we just do the cleanup. I think we have added additional s, get comment success. Fetch comments. Okay, now this is clear. We got all the comments. Get comment success failure, get comment, and here instead of this it should be, and we need to pass the post ID, because here we are passing, here we are trying to get the comments of particular post. So comments of post ID, I mean, if we go and check this JSON placeholder API, there we can get it. It's post ID equals to post ID, and this is the dynamic expression. Okay, we need dollar. Now this looks fine. Comments post ID, so we are getting the comments of a single post on the detail page about a particular post detail page. So you need to pass the post ID in the fetch comments. Okay, now we can write the reducer now, and reducer is a kind of simple. So I will just clone the reducers we have created till now. It's a comments array, so you can copy the post reducer, build your comments reducer and paste it. Here it is, a comments is an array, get comments, get comment success, get comments failure, and based on that we have populated the data. That's it. Now let's take a look onto our components and the pages. So this is our demo, very simple. I didn't do much code change. This is what it is, right? And I mean the components are already created. We don't need to write it. It's all about showing the get the data inside these components. So dashboard page, post page, fetch all the posts and pass all the posts and pass the data to the post component. It's all about rendering all the posts, creating higher order components like mapping the state to the props and a dispatch to the props. So this is a single post page, that is a post page. In single post page, first of all getting the data from the routes. So here we are getting the data from the routes and we are passing, okay, this is the ID. This is the ID for which you have to make an API call, fetch comments, fetch post for this particular post ID that we are getting from the match.params. So right, match is a property of router, and here we are actually getting the data from the Redux state, all the single post, all the comments of that single post, the loading has error and all. So this is all about just a quick overview, like how we were writing the Redux, and this is the overall state, and we can see all the different actions we are triggering. I can a little bit zoom, like get post success. So whenever you reload this page, what is the initial call you will see? Only get posts dashboard, right? Let's go to the landing page, which is list of all the posts. In that case, you will see a first call which is being sent to fetch all the posts, get post success, right? And then when I click on view post, there will be two things, get post by ID and get post comments. So this is get comments, get post, and then the success methods of a single post, success method of a single comment. Okay, and then it will populate the Redux state. This is like the huge Redux state you are getting. You can do time travel debugging and all those things which you are already aware. This is the initial state, next state, get comments based on the whatever the state is getting updated. Okay, this is all about the Redux, the old way of dealing with Redux, writing a lot of code. Like, I mean, now I'm using these use selectors. I'm not getting the state using map state to props and map dispatch to props. You can use dispatch and use selector from React Redux. Those are kind of hooks which you can use with the class-based components and can make your code look nicer. Okay, thanks everyone. So in the next video, we will see the React Redux toolkit.